You are an archaeologist at Qumran, Israel in 1952. You have just discovered a Dead Sea Scroll unlike any of the others. All the others are made of parchment or papyrus. This one is made of solid copper. And when scholars finally find a way to read it 9 years later, the text inside is unlike any other ancient document ever found. It is a treasure map. Today we walk through exactly what the copper scroll contains, why no one has ever found a single one of its 64 listed treasures, and what scholars now believe it actually was. First, the discovery. The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered between 1947 and 1956 in 11 caves near the ruins of Qumran on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea. The collection includes the oldest surviving copies of the Hebrew Bible, plus hundreds of other religious texts from the Second Temple period. All of the scrolls are made of parchment or papyrus, except one. The copper scroll, discovered in Cave 3 at Qumran on March 20, 1952, is two thin sheets of nearly pure copper joined together to make a single roll about 2.4 meters long. 2,000 years of corrosion had fused the scroll into a hardened cylinder that could not be unrolled without destroying the text. For 9 years, scholars argued about how to read it. In 1961, a Manchester engineer cut the scroll into 23 thin strips using a small circular saw mounted with a precision blade. The text inside was Hebrew. Practical Hebrew. Not religious, not philosophical. Inventory. 64 entries. Each one describes a hidden treasure. Now the contents. Entry 1. Quote, "In the ruin, which is in the valley of Achor, under the steps which go to the east, 40 cubits deep, lies a chest of silver of weight, 17 talents." End quote. 17 talents of silver is approximately 500 kilograms, roughly $500,000 in modern silver value. Entry 17. Quote, "In the cave of the second courtyard, 65 talents of silver and gold." End quote. Entry 32. Quote, "Under the doorpost of the tomb of the prophets lies the priestly garments and 70 talents of silver." End quote. Total amount of treasure described across the 64 entries. Approximately 160 tons of silver and 26 tons of gold. In today's money, the listed treasure is worth approximately $3 billion. Now the problem. None of the 64 treasures has ever been found. Not one. Many of the location references are too vague to pin down. Quote, "In the gutter that is in the bottom of the rainwater cistern." End quote. Some refer to landmarks that no longer exist. Quote, "At the entrance of the upper opening of Manos." End quote. Nobody knows what Manos was. Modern searches have used ground-penetrating radar across the Judean desert. They have found Roman coins, broken pottery, and the occasional ancient grave. They have found none of the copper scroll treasures. Now, the theory. The leading current academic theory is that the copper scroll is a real inventory of the Second Temple treasury, hidden by the priests of Jerusalem during the Roman destruction of the temple in 70 AD. Some scholars believe the treasures were entirely real. They were buried. They were then either found by the Romans, lost to subsequent earthquakes that altered the landscape, or hidden so well that they remain undiscovered today. Other scholars believe the copper scroll is a fictional document, a coded message, a literary exercise. If the copper scroll is fiction, it is the only piece of fiction ever recorded in copper instead of parchment or papyrus. The copper scroll lives today in the Jordan Museum in Amman, in 23 strips behind glass. If even a single one of its 64 entries refers to a real cache of silver still buried in the Judean desert, somewhere a chest of 17 talents of silver is waiting to be found. 2,000 years and counting. Nobody has found it.